Hi leeches, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be talking about my opinions on the Singles Inferno season 2 contestants. This is gonna have spoilers for all episodes that are released up to today's date, which is December 31st. So I think that's up to episode 6. So the format of the video is just me going through every contestant and then giving my thoughts about them. I did watch season 1 of Singles Inferno when it was airing last year, so in case I mention anyone from season 1, the context is just that I watched it a year ago, but I didn't re-watch it in preparation for season 2 because it's like different people, so there was no point to that. Okay, number 1, seulki. I did not like her at first. I thought she had like very pick-me vibes along with the other girl soe-eun, but the thing that really bothers me about seulki is her chin is so pointy. It just like bothered me so much at the beginning. Something about the work that she got done, I think it's the chin. I don't know, maybe something else about her face. I just like didn't really like it that much when I saw her at first. I will say that the more episodes that I'm watching, she's growing on me a little bit more. I feel like her and Jinyoung are super cute. Like the way she acts when she's with him is like pretty adorable. And then in the last episode when she had a conversation with Jongwoo and he asked her about like, hey, how do you feel about us and stuff like that, she was actually very straightforward, and I felt like her being able to explain that she wasn't that interested in him was very like mature of her. So in conclusion, I think seulki is actually growing on me. Sejong, I don't understand why people don't like her. I think she maybe like doesn't fit the Korean beauty standards as well. Like she's very ABG type and wears like a lot of tight dresses. She in Fashion Nova style type clothing, TBH. And then I think in her intro, she also sounded very like aggressive and she was like, yeah, I'm really hot and stuff like that. So I think maybe the way that she came off at the beginning was just a little much, but honestly, like the way she is on the show, I think she's like pretty nice. I don't really know why none of the guys have been like too interested in her so far. Maybe someone new will come on the show and like appreciate her more, but honestly, I don't really see anything wrong with her. So I just don't know why she's not getting attention right now. Jongwoo, this guy reminds me so much of the puppy dog guy that was like following around Gia during season 1. I feel like I don't really know anything about his personality too much, but he seems like pretty nice. I think he also simps super hard for seulki, and that's his main personality trait. But honestly, I think he's like sweet, like the things that he does, like bringing her vitamins and making sure she's okay, and like bringing her water and bringing her like poetry and stuff like that. I feel like that's so cute. Like I actually stan, but I just feel like she likes Jinyoung so much. I think the issue is that he's too like straightforward. Like she knows that he's down bad for her and therefore she doesn't need to like talk to him anymore because she already knows like this guy like is on the hook or whatever. Because of that, it's just not really interesting to watch. So, but I mean, I like Jongwoo, he seems okay. Soe-eun, I do not like her. I thought that at the beginning she was very pick-me. It bothered me how passive she was and the way that she talks about herself and the entire situation with yoongjae. I felt like the entire vibe was just so sad. I do feel bad about that whole situation going on with yoongjae and her. I do think that he was like at fault for that too, and I'll talk about that more when we talk about him. At the beginning, she was very like passive. Eventually, she seemed to just be like straight up and say like, hey, I like you. How do you feel about me? And then after that stuff happened that I think was his fault. But then in the last conversation, it also bothered me so much when he finally told her that he wasn't interested and then she started trying to make him feel better about that. I was just like, dude, give up. Like, what are you doing? That entire conversation was so awkward and painful to watch for me. So I just wish that she would like stand up for herself more, and it's so frustrating watching her. Yeah, so yoongjae next. Yeah, the whole thing with soe I did not like. I felt like he led her on. Like there was one conversation where she went into the tent with him and she said, hey, like I'm really curious about you. Are you curious about me? And he was just like, yeah, sure. But then like later he just totally chose someone else and like didn't want to go to paradise with her. So I just felt like that was backhanded, and if he knew he wasn't interested, he should have just said he wasn't interested. I kind of get the feeling that he wasn't sure that his number one choice, So-eun, was going to choose him back. So because of that, he wanted to string along So-e until he knew that like there was something with So-eun. And because of that, I'm just like, dude, you're so shady. Like, if you know that you don't like her, just tell her you don't like her and don't like leave her in that headspace for longer than necessary, because it was just more painful later. The other thing that I noticed is that this person wears ginormous shirts, like literally clown outfits. Like, I don't know if anyone else is noticing this, but his shirts are just like so comically large. Like, why? I don't get it. Okay, next is Nadine. I think she's cute. I like her. People on the show have pointed out that her Korean isn't so good and she like is more comfortable in English, which is totally fine. I can't tell if it's like holding her back to like express herself more emotionally on the show or not. It kind of seems like that because a lot of people say there's like communication barrier, language barrier with her. I mean, as a viewer, I just feel like it's adorable. So, but I guess in a context that's more like romantic and you need to be good at expressing your emotions, it could be holding her back. She also just seems like she is kind of like awkward-ish in general, but I think that makes sense because when they revealed her age and stuff, she's like very young and hasn't like worked and stuff like that. So yeah, I guess it makes sense that she's not super straightforward or like mature about those types of things. Hanbin, same thing. I just feel like he's kind of immature. I think the way that he acted with So-eun in Paradise just like reinforced that. Basically, she was just like, yeah, I kind of see him as a little brother and stuff like that. He is also a simp. I think that he is just down bad for So-eun, which is fine. But I kind of prefer how jongwoo simps for seulki over how Hanbin simps for So-eun, because I think Hanbin just like says stuff and doesn't do as much stuff. Maybe it's just me because I have my love language more as acts of service than words of affirmation, but yeah, Hanbin's just like not really my favorite. Jongwoo. This person is extremely psycho vibes in my opinion. I just don't know. I don't like him. I don't think he's just weird. I don't like how he played Nadine at the very beginning. I think this was like episode 2 or 3 or something like that. At first, I think it was something like he had talked to Nadine, but then chose seulki to go to Paradise with, and then like later on he went with Nadine to Paradise. And when he was with Nadine and they both revealed their like jobs and ages, that felt so awkward. I was just like screaming at my TV because I was just like, the Dongseng comment and Sunbaenim comments. Oh god, that hurt to watch. Yeah, I don't know. He also gives me like the vibes of Jintaek from season 1. He just seems kind of like he's playing the field and trying to like make everyone think he's super make girls think that he's like really into them, but he kind of is not, and he's just like wanting to know if they like him back and stuff. So-eun, she seems really normal. I honestly have like nothing to say about her. I don't think she's done anything that I'm like, oh my god, you're crazy, you're stupid, or I hated that, but she's also never done anything where I'm like, oh my god, slay, I stan, that was amazing. Like, she's just kind of there so far and hasn't done anything crazy that I can talk about. So yeah, she just seems normal. Like, I don't have any strong opinions. Jinyoung is so adorable. I'm obsessed with him. He's definitely my crush on the show. He gives very Jungkook vibes, and like I said at the beginning, I think he and seulki are like pretty cute, and I think that he likes her back, so I'm excited to see how this like shakes out. A lot of the other girls are into him, so I'm kind of curious like what's gonna happen. And I honestly think he's like also considerate, like the part where Nadine wanted to talk to him and he was trying to speak English with her to make her feel more comfortable. That was like adorable. I know Dongwoo did that too, so don't come at me. I think it's different because Dongwoo was actually like pretty good at English versus Jinyoung wasn't even that good, but he was still trying anyways. So moving on to the newer people on the show, Sejun, he's new. Obviously, I don't like know anything about him so far. I am curious to see if he and Soe are gonna have something happening, or like who he will choose to go to paradise with him. I will laugh if it is seulki, honestly. All the guys at first impression like to choose seulki or soe-eun, so I'm curious if that's still gonna be true. I will say that it was really funny when they showed everyone in the morning and he like, I guess, slept maybe in his entire business casual fit, and then he just like sat up when he woke up and immediately put on sunglasses. I was like, wow, that's iconic. Min-soo, I am kind of scared of her. Like the way that she did her intro where she was just like, oh yeah, I go after what I want even though people think I'm nice. I'm like, dude, that's really snake behavior, or just like kind of a weird way to describe yourself. I kind of feel that she gives soe-eun vibes, but she seems a little more, I don't know, harsh or direct about things. Based on the preview for the next episodes, I think there's gonna be some kind of like love triangle plot between her, yoongjae, and soe-eun. So very curious to see how that shakes out, because she's like already saying, oh, if there's someone I like, I'm not gonna give up on them and all of this. So I don't know, I think it'll be pretty interesting. This is what I think of all the contestants so far. Please leave a comment if you agree or disagree on anything specific. I'm really curious to hear everybody else's opinions. If this is interesting, I'm gonna continue making videos about like updating my thoughts on people or updating my opinions on new episodes as they come out, so let me know. Other than that, please like, comment, subscribe. As usual, thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.